Welcome, everyone. I would like to call this Ways and Means Committee meeting of Tuesday, March 17, 2023 at 4 o'clock p.m. to order. May I have roll call, please?
Banaszak.
Present.
Radke.
Here?
Neiman.
Excused.
She's excused.
Begay.
Here.
Willett.
Here.
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 Poyer.
Here.
Warren present.
All rise, please.
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First, are there any changes to the agenda? See none. Is there a motion for approval?
Motion to approve. Support.
Any discussion? See none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? See none. Motion carries. Is there a motion for approval of the minutes of February 7th, 2023? Any discussion? See none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? See none. Motion carries. At this time is for public input. Is there anyone wishing to address this committee? Please come forward. State your name and address. You've got 5 minutes, please.
Justin Peters. My address is 367 Old Orchard Drive in Essexville. I am applying to the position at the BABH board, where I've served previously for 4 years. Currently, I am a non-board member on the Recipient Rights Committee, as well as the region's Substance Use Disorder Board. And in the past, I have myself been a recipient of mental health as well as family members. So on the 21st, I would appreciate everyone's vote.
Thank you. Is there anyone else? See none? Okay, moving on. Moving to Petitions and Communications. Pardon me? I already did it. Petitions and Communications. Discontinuance of the Bay County Household Assistance Program.
I'll move that.
Support.
Any discussion? Yes, Commissioner.
I'm having a little, thanks, I know what this is.
Oh, it's
I'm having just, that's why we're discussing it, because I have, my big issue with it is that it hasn't been even in existence for a year. It's been probably 9, 10 months, but, and so what I'd like to hear is I'd like to hear from Shauna, who is the administrator of this program, and just to find out what her opinion is of it, of where we started, where we're at, and if she thinks that we should go forward with it at least for a few more months.
So the program has been running for 36 weeks. We do a weekly report. There have been 481 applications received, and there have been 278 applications approved to date. We've paid $513,000 to residents to help in situations of delinquent taxes, utilities, rent and mortgage assistance. I think the program's been a great success. I think you've helped a lot of families out of really tough circumstances. We are hoping that by running the program through April 15th that we're going to capture anyone who's facing foreclosure. This is a hard time for families facing foreclosure on the 31st, so by allowing the program to run through April 15th, we're able to capture anyone in that position.
So is that your suggestion that we close it off now?
Applications have been dwindling. I have handed out personally 100 applications in the last couple of weeks and had 5 returned. There is still a need. There is a need that exists, but it is declining.
Okay.
They can only apply at one time, that's it?
It's a one-time shot of 300, it's 300% above the poverty level is the income ratio, and it's for a maximum of $3,000. So those are the 2-3 numbers.
Okay.
Yes. It's not per application, it's per grant.
one-time grant, not application.
Okay.
And I think what we're doing, you know, it was an important project, and I think we did well. You know, I know the city did it too, and I don't want to go, I know they had their own program, and I know that ours is just for the, you know, everything outside the city, and we weren't sure how it was going to go, and, you know, I think you did a marvelous job handling the program, because it's kind of a big undertaking, because it's not just somebody applying for assistance. There's a lot more to, you know, a lot of people think they just came in and handed a thing and said they wanted some money. Well, those are the ones that got denied. So there was a lot more to it than a lot of people realize, and that I think that you and your staff did an excellent job, you know, going forward with it, you know, and helping a lot of people out in Bay County that a lot of people wouldn't even, a lot of people didn't know about it, and I was fortunate enough to be able to tell people about it, and I don't know how many came and followed through with it, but they had the opportunity, because at one time a lot of people didn't know about it, but word got around, and I think that I noticed, like you said, that the applications were dwindling. I just wasn't sure of how far you wanted to go with it, but if you feel that we've, you know, kind of peaked out and even gone on the downside of it, that we've helped most people, almost all who could have been helped, that I'm pretty satisfied with that.
Thank you. And yes, big thank you to my staff and the treasurer's staff as well, who really do the frontline work in gathering all the documentation and all the statements of need and everything that's required to make that program work. Thank you.
There's a lot of work. I know that.
Yeah, I'd just like to add to that. You know, I went to the Hampton Township meetings and Merritt meetings, the SSO meetings, and there was always the interest. They wanted to know what the numbers were and that type of thing. So I think there was a real interest out there, and I think we benefited a lot of people as a result of that program.
Great.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Seeing none, motion carries. Bay County Sheriff, Bay County Community Partnership Grants for the year 2023.
So,
Support?
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Seeing none, motion carries. Health Officer, travel request for 2023 National WIC Conference.
so moved.
Support.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Seeing none, motion carries. Recreation Facilities, Community Center Pool Closure.
I'll move that.
Support it.
Any discussion? Yes.
I'd ask
Yes.
Kristen to give us a little overview on the decision, I guess.
Okay.
Absolutely. The community center pool is a 50-year-old outdoor pool with an original structure and original mechanics. It's been a wonderful addition to our community for those 50 years, and many community members have fond memories. I'm sure we all heard about that. They have fond memories of the pool in their childhood. As a person with a heart in recreation, I know the value of an asset like the community pool, and we've been honored to provide this service for the last 50 years. But currently, the pool is facing a multitude of issues. As I explained in my memo, we are facing significant structural issues, mechanical issues, staffing issues, supply issues due to the age of the infrastructure. We are also getting too close to safety issues for comfort. And couple all of this with low usage. In the last 5 years, we have seen anywhere between 2,900 and 4,100 guests total for the summer. In 2009, the board considered closing the pool due to many of these same concerns. Due to the public concern of closure, the board ultimately decided, based on my understanding, is that they would keep the pool open as long as possible without any significant financial investment, and we made it 13 seasons after that. Budgetary pool estimates put our structural issues at about $2 million to repair, and a complete replacement of our pool's current footprint would be between about $5 and $6 million. With the exorbitant cost to fix or replace, the maintenance issues we're facing, the low usage, and the ability to only use the pool about 8 to 9 weeks a year, it is my recommendation to close and remove the community center pool. It is my opinion that this is the most appropriate course of action to be good stewards of taxpayer dollars. And I am the first to recognize that this is a hard and unpopular decision. I don't want our children to have less opportunities in the summer either, And it is my plan to take that space and find a good use that is great for our community in the coming years. But ultimately, I think we're at a crossroads and we need to make a decision here, so.
Yes.
Kristen, could you comment on the usage, like for the last year or 2 years compared to where it was 20 years ago? It just, as far as people who showed up there. I mean, a lot of people think there's, and I know, you go by, you see people there, but you really don't realize how many people in that summertime really actually use the pool. It's easy when you drive by and it's the right time of day, but it's the other times of day too,
So we have numbers here for different types of usage. In the last 5 years, last year, if you recall, we were only open for the swim team and our summer rec program because we didn't have enough lifeguards. In 2020, we were close to the pandemic, but over the course of the last 5 years, we have kept track of all of our numbers, and through the course of the 8 weeks or 9 weeks that it's open, depending on the weather, we were looking at 2,900 on the low end one year, and the high end, it was 4,100 people that visit the whole summer. So that's counting, a lot of these are probably return visitors, but our usage is very low. There are days, many days in the summer where we're seeing about 10 public swimmers. And we've had donations in the past, and we've had free public swim, which brought out more people when they didn't have to pay to use it. But on all those other days, our usage is really low. And in that 4,100 high number that we had saw, that included the free swimmers as well.
I'd like to ask, if we close the pool, what is the usage plan as far as what we're going to use for that property? And then also too, is there any other pools that the community could have access to as far as pools in Bay County to make up the difference if we close that pool?
So the plan this year, if so approved, would be to remove the community center pool and create a grassy area. Now, we want to spend that time this year really talking to the community and evaluating our programs and the assets in our area to decide if we would put something like basketball courts and pickleball courts in, a big pavilion, maybe a playscape, like kind of, weigh all of those options to decide what would be the best use of that space. That fenced-in area, because we have such a large pool, our current pool is 444,000 gallons, and you probably drove by it, it's very large. It's a big space, so we have a lot of options to use. In terms of other public pools, there's obviously the Y, Delta. I'm not sure if SVSU offers public swimming or not. A lot of high schools have it, but again, I don't know how open they are to the public. And then there's the public pool in Midland as well.
Well, I'd just like to add, the new commissioners took a tour of the pool.
Yes.
And I would say that the pool does need a lot of work. As far as that's concerned, I could see where it could cost the county a lot of money to refurbish and bring that pool back. That's just my impression from looking at what I saw on the tour. But I'm open to suggestions, what we could do to solve that situation. But anyway, that's my opinion on it. Thank you.
Jim?
Yeah, I was just going to say it's sort of a sad situation we find ourselves in. As Kristen mentioned, a lot of great memories there, and a lot of young people have had the opportunity to have a pool that they wouldn't otherwise have, during the summertime, to get out and recreate and learn how to swim, and with lifeguard protection. I think Commissioners Banaszak and Herrick had suggested a potential of maybe partnering with the Y, and while there's been not initial much interest in that, where the county would pay the YMCA to allow each young person that wanted to use the pool for that 8 or 10 week time frame that the pool was open in Bay County at the community center. And maybe we could pursue that with the board to see, because I think as long as you pay $10, the public can go in and use the Y pool. But initially, not much interest in that, but maybe we could explore that a little further. And we also have competitive swimmers. I was on the swim team for the Wolf swim team for 3 years when I was in high school, Central. And I know we have a lot of avid competitive swimmers. And I think Essexville Hampton, the superintendent, and I We haven't checked with Western, but they would be more than amenable should their pool, which is closed during the summer, to opening their pools for having the actual competitive swimming that would be not tournaments, but allow them to practice throughout the summer, so that we can try to address the people who will be discouraged and disappointed about the closure of that pool. But as we know, we've seen it at, I think, $1 million just for a boiler and a compressor, and about $3 million the concrete is falling from the walls down to the bottom of the pool. You can't see it too much when the water's there, but when you drain the pool, big chunks of concrete are just coming apart and falling. And I think the estimate was in excess of $3 million to probably it'd have to be rebuilt, or can it be repaired?
The estimates was, for structural issues, was about $2 million, and a complete replacement was between $5 and $6 million.
Yeah. And we might have some visitors here, and I know they missed public input, but we'd like to hear if somebody came forward on the issue of the community center pool while they're here. I don't know if you can go out of order, if somebody would want to speak, or if not, maybe after the board concludes its business, we could talk for a little bit. I do have another appointment at some distance at 5:30, so, but thank you, Mr. Chair, for allowing me those comments.
Yes, Vaughn.
Yeah, I checked with Michigan Association of Counties also to see about county-owned pools, and they couldn't really give me a number. They said Lapeer might have one, but I checked with them, and it was a spray park. It wasn't a pool. I know Midland has theirs. They get a lot of public support, foundation support to keep their pool open. I know they're financially, it's tough for them also. So, and also my parents had a pool, and I used to scrape the pool and paint the pool and put the stuff in, and it's a lot of work to have a pool, and it's only for a short period of time. So,
okay. Thank you. Anything else? Yes, Tom.
I'd like I could make a motion to go out of order, and if there's anyone else who would like to speak, about the pool, that something we're missing that, that we need to hear, that'd be great.
That's fine.
I'll support.
yeah.
Okay.
Josh Paul, 1030 East Kennedy Road, Northern Michigan, 48747. I would say the splash park.
You can just
Would you like to come up to the podium, please?
The only thing I would say is as a parent and a bunch of young kids running around, the splash park is a great addition to a community. And I can tell you that if there's a way to pivot to that would be phenomenal. Because there's a lot of people that travel to Beaverton, to Frankenmuth, to our state park, out of our city. And it would be a really good thing if there's a way to put that together. I know it's not an inexpensive venture, but that would be a nice, at least to give the community something positive to talk about instead of being frustrated about losing the pool.
Yeah.
You around Splash Park? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it might be a little chilly right now, but that'd be okay, So, but thank you for the time. I appreciate it very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else? Okay, we'll go back to the motion. Any other discussion? Okay, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Seeing none, motion carries. From the Finance Office, receive analysis of general fund equity of 2023.
Understand.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Seeing none, motion carries. Receive updating regarding Executive Directive 2007-11.
Support. Oh, I'm sorry, motion.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Seeing none,
trying to get
motion
in the habit.
carries. Information System, CISCO agreement with advanced web filtering.
So moved.
Support.
Is there any discussion? Yes.
I always like the technical discussion, so I think we have somebody here from IT to explain this.
So one of the things that we go through when we look at improving our IT infrastructure is how can we improve to reduce malware, viruses, and things like that. And one of the best uses of being able to do that is to get advanced web filtering. So we have actually been running a trial, and within a 2-week period, when we saw an uptick, and I don't have the data in front of me, but in the 2-week period where we saw an uptick of more attacks or attempts, it actually blocked 28 malware attempts. So essentially when you click on, so you get an email and you click on a link, it goes first through our firewall, and then it goes through this secondary system, and this is where it does that blocking. So really, we blocked, and within a 2-day period, a 2-week period, within 2 days of that 2-week period, we blocked 28 to 30 malware attempts.
Good. Yes,
Sure.
that's one.
So also too, in part of the resolution, thank you, is MRMA, they really have this huge push for cybersecurity. So in order for us to apply for the specific grant, we have to purchase something, and we see that there's a really big need for this. So after we purchase this, we intend to apply for the rectified grant with MRMA. I think they have $2 million available for just this type of grant. And there's no specific timeline where the other grants are. The cap and wrap grants have like specific quarters. This one is you can really apply at any time, and then they, notify us if we receive the grant or not. But we have to purchase first and then apply for the grant.
Yes, one.
Yeah, just want to point out to some of the new commissioners that MMRMA is our risk manager, and I imagine they back us up for like ransomware or stuff like that too.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have our cyber insurance coverage through them.
Yeah.
So anytime that there is an incident, we would contact them, and that's where our risk management insurance is from. And so by doing something this, having this advanced filtering improves our overall security of the network.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Julie.
Jim had his hand up.
Jim had his hand up.
Oh, I was just going to make a comment and thank Julie and her staff for the great job they've done over the past several years fending off these ransomware attacks. And I know in finance we came within 5 minutes one time of having $5 million transferred to an account in Singapore, if you recall that. And what had happened is, in an attempt to be totally open to the public, the Retirement and Pension Board were publishing their minutes, and someone replicated the stationery and the same font on the type, and then indicated that the Pension Retirement Board had voted to transfer this $5 million amount, and only a call, I think Comerica Bank or someone called and said, we're going to make the transfer in 5 minutes, and got held up. No, what do you mean? And they had replicated all of the stationery and the font from the type and reproduced minutes from the Retirement Board to convince people to make that transfer to the bank. So I know of some counties around the state that have unfortunately been the subject of a ransomware attack, and it is significant. I think some upwards of $20 to $30 million to get their data back when the data is captured. So, and that's a tremendous cost to the insurance industry, as well as anybody who has to incur that kind of cost to recover their data. So just want to say, with the small department you have, Julie, you do a great job up there. But we have to continuously be on guard, because some people are so ingenious and crafty and innovative that they're continually trying to transfer funds. And most of them happen to be outside the country. They're coming from South America and Europe and Russia. So, and I think some Chinese as well. So with the technology knowledge base out there today, we're all subject to those kinds of attacks. And understand hospitals too have been the subject of massive attacks trying to get their data and all their health data. So you have to be vigilant, and Julie, and thanks for the great job so far.
Thank you, Jim. Anyone else? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, seeing none, motion carries. Payables,
So,
Support.
any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, seeing none, motion carries. Are there any referrals? Any unfinished business? Any new business? Always fast. Heather, is there a need for a closed session? No. Okay, thank you. Any miscellaneous? Any announcements?
Motion to adjourn.
Oh, sorry, I gotta have something. St. Patrick's Day is coming up, and we have posted something in the bulletin for them or their program, and I guess some of us will be there, St. Patrick's Day Parade, so 19th. It's gonna be a nice sunny day and nice and warm. We hope.
Anything else? Okay, anything else? Motion?
I'll make the motion.
To what?
Support.
To adjourn.
That's the
All
motion.
right.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting's adjourned.